So I would imagine that most people know that plastic pollution is a huge issue all around the world, but did you know that it's a huge issue in your own body? I'm talking about a New England Journal of Medicine article where they did a study showing that out of 257 people, 150 of them had micro and nanoplastics in their blood. And they weren't harmless. The ones with plastic had, quote, a higher risk of a composite of myocardial infarction, stroke, or death from any cause. And this isn't just one article about plastics hurting you either. Try searching it up and you'll find a lot. So hopefully you're now more curious to learn about the ways we can stop plastics from getting in your body, or more generally, the environment. And nowadays there's a lot of ways that's done, but what I want to talk about is bioremediation. It's where enzymes like organisms and bacteria break down plastic into nice compounds like water. They actually use the plastic as food to get energy. So I sought out to look for the most effective and feasible ways to use bioremediation against micro and nanoplastics. It's a super broad topic, so I decided to focus on fungi. This made sense because a lot of the fungi make these enzymes called lactases, and the special thing about lactases is that they break the carbon-carbon bonds in plastic, which are normally really tough to break. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is go through two projects that use fungi to take care of plastic waste. And I'll summarize them and do a little analysis of each. Okay, so the first one is called Fungi Mutarium. The project is about these things they call FUs. So I'm going to be saying FU, but don't take it personally. Anyway, the FUs are cups where you put in some plastic and drop some fungi spores in it. And eventually, the spores grow and eat the plastic. But here's the crazy part. You eat it after it's done with the fungi with the plastic. And it's safe to eat because the fungi convert the plastic into other things. But it was plastic. So there's two species that they use for this. One of them being Pleurotus austriatus, which is actually the oyster mushroom. So just a regular mushroom, plus plastic, but stuff that was plastic. Now, one reason why this project seems to be a good idea is that those two species used are grown in a bunch of different places around the world, so they're really accessible. And people around the world could, in theory, sustainably throw away plastic at home with these FUs, but what do we do with the plastic that, say, goes down the drain? So that's where this next project comes into play. In it, there's these fungi species used to collect water and consume the plastic out of wastewater. There's these three fungi species used to collect and consume the plastics out of wastewater. So some problems that exist with this wastewater project is that once the fungi cells die, all the plastic that was collected in the fungi cells gets back into the water. And on the other hand, if the cells get too big, they end up blocking the filters used in the project. But even with these problems, we can see that it has big advantages over the other contemporary methods that we use, like landfills and incineration. So as it is, without fungi, wastewater is treated to remove plastic, but 0.1% to even 12% of the original amount of plastic can stay in the wastewater, which isn't very thorough. And using the fungi has another advantage besides just removing more plastic, in that the water doesn't need to be pumped with oxygen, which would normally take a big amount of the budget. Okay. So these two fungi projects show a lot of potential and feasibility, but they're going to need funding, and that's going to be a lot easier when we can get rid of the stigma against fungi. There's this idea that fungi are just a bunch of gross molds, and there's a lot of fear associated with fungi where people predict a fungal apocalypse like, in The Last of Us over here. But if you watch this little 5-minute video, I hope you've gotten the sense that fungi are pretty cool and could really help out.